welcome to my channel. My name is Budgets with Elma, and today we are going to do my monthly overview. Yes, you heard me right. I know we are already in June, but your girl got to get organized and get on top of doing what I need to do. And one of the things I love to do when it comes to budgeting is to set up my bills calendar. I want to show you how I'm mapping out everything that comes in, meaning expenses, income, or any family events or updates that may happen that may affect the budget. And so I want to show you what's coming up in the month of June and show you how I'm going to pay which specific paycheck with which bill, right? So in this month, I do get paid 3 paychecks, and the month previous, it was my lucky month, which means when it's my lucky month, because I am a biweekly employee, I get paid every 2 weeks, but when it's my lucky month, I get an extra paycheck, which makes it 3. So last month, that extra income definitely came in handy, and I will be dividing that last final paycheck into 2 pay periods that's coming up in this month to give me an extra cushion so I can really get on top of my expenses and do what I need to do. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to plan out what I bring in and how I make money moves for me and my family of 5. If this is the first time you're hearing my voice, welcome to my channel. I hope you like what I do and what I bring to the cash stuffing community. If you are a true one, a OG, right? Thank you for giving me your valuable time and, of course, for returning back. As you can see on my desk, I have the Budget Mom, okay, Budget by Paycheck, that I'm going to be working in, which is her workbook. I'm going to go ahead and set up the month of June. And so what I did to save some time, because we have a lot to talk about, because I'm definitely going to be chatting on this video and updating you on life. And so I went ahead and did some of the stickering, setting up. Oops, excuse me for hitting the tripod and shaking you guys. All right. It is close to my desk, so I hope you can see everything in view. And this is the spread. So what I ended up doing, I did use the Happy Planner stickers along with this cute planner here. I'll show you the cover. I used this to do my setup, and I got this from Walmart. It was a gift from my son, and so I use it when I can from time to time. So I definitely pulled out this. And as I said, I did use my Happy Planner stickers. I have it somewhere to the side. Let's see. It slides somewhere off my desk, but that's okay. I'll link it in the description below if you would like to get a copy. It comes with some of everything. And so I took a couple of stickers out of it. And this is it here. All right. And so that is what I used to do the setup. I decided to add a pop of color when doing the setup. I started my calendar on a Monday just to go along with June starting on a Monday. All right. Some people started on a Sunday, but for me, I went ahead and did it on a Monday. So for here, you can see I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I went ahead and already pre-numbered the calendar. So I know that it starts on the 1st and the final day in June will be the 30th. So right now we're going to go ahead and put in my actual expenses on when they fall, and also any updates to really make the calendar do what it needs to do. Now, before I go into it, let me know, do you use a bill calendar or a calendar in general to track your expenses and to stay on track with your expenses, what you bring in, what you bring out, and just to stay organized with life? All right. I do use a calendar for my personal life, but I also love to do it for a budget because it does keep me to stay on point. Just a FYI, if you hear any noise in the background, I am a mommy of 3 and I have my mom as well. So you may hear her from time to time on the video. So here is what I have. I've already wrote down my expenses, and we're just going to put them down and get it started. The first thing that I have, my mortgage is always at the beginning of the month. Me and my husband do the split method when it comes to this big expense, and we save from each previous paycheck from the month before to pay the current month's paycheck. All right. So whenever I'm doing my budget, I pay it in that month. However, the money comes from paycheck from previous paychecks. All right. So that is how we stay on track. The next expense I have is the following, and that is the electric, right? We need this for our light or we're going to be in the dark. All right. For this expense this time around, it was for 210. Again, I will do a closeout so that you can see the actuals, but for now, this is the total amount. The next expense is the trash and water, and that was on the 5th. And for that specific expense, it was a little bit higher. It was for 175. All right, for that expense. The next expense I have is my AT&T, and the AT&T came out on the 8th. All right, and that expense specifically was for $70. The next expense I have is Disney Plus, and Disney Plus was on the 11th, and that total is for Disney Plus, along with all my other subscriptions on my television, my TV, or technical devices, and that is $25 for all of those subscriptions. The next thing I have is my Canva, and my Canva is for $13, and that is the budgeted amount. I will go, like I said, go back and give you those final numbers when we do check-ins on the calendar. The next expense I have is my Amazon, and that one is for my Amazon membership. And so I pay $8 every month. All right. And so there's a couple of discounts that come along if you're a student, if you have, I believe, SNAP or EBT, if you're part of the military. And I think there's different discounts that comes along with that. And I fall under one of those, which is why I pay that amount every month. The next expense I have is my Canva, and my Canva is for $8. And that is for my not Canva, guys, excuse me, my coffee shop that I have where I post any challenges that I create, and that is the expense that I pay. The next thing I have is my HOA, and my HOA, because it's $350, it has increased. Originally it was $150, but it has doubled because we had our annual meeting, and from that point they increased based on how they're going to upgrade the amenities around where we live. I do own my own individual home. However, because my name, the way my community is, it's already named. So because it has a name, it is it has a HOA board. And so because of that, even though all they do is cut our grass really, but they don't do nothing else, but whatever. They said that there would be increasing, adding different things because they're under new management. And so they gave every homeowner a quote and divided the amount for the expenses on what they need to do. And so now our HOA has increased for this year for this amount until everyone pays the amount that's needed. Okay, so this is crazy. Now, what I will do is add it right here on the 30th. And I split this one by bi-weekly paychecks so that I can make that a reality. Any expense that I have that is super high, I like to do the split method among 2 paychecks. All right, so let's go back to the top. And what I have here is my Apple storage, and that's for any of my kids' technical devices. All right, their cell phones, their iPads, etc. Anything you could think of, that's for storage for that. The next expense I have is my YouTube memberships. I do support content creators on YouTube, whether it's on their YouTube or on Coffee. All right. The next expense I have is the theme park. I do pay for the theme park. Oh, there's one more expense that I don't see here. Oh, there it is. Here's the sticker. And it is my cell phone. And we will be paying that on the 24th. And that is $125 for a family line of 4. My oldest pays her own, so she is not included in that payment plan. The next expense I have is my Netflix, and the Netflix is due on the 26th. And last time I checked, it's $28, guys, because my kids watch it on all their devices. And so that is just the price that it is. The next expense I have, the total of my debt, with all of them totaling, that is a total of 175, and that is on the 29th. Now, there's a couple of expenses you do not see here, as car insurance, health insurance, all of those things that are deducted from my pay period. Those are not on the calendar, as well as my car insurance for both vehicles, my daughter and ours. And so that one, my husband pays it every 6 months, so you won't see it on here. The next thing is theme park. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the 27. And these are all the expenses that I have. The next thing I want to put on here is my pay period. Like I said, last month was my magic month, which means I got a third paycheck. So that means I got paid later in the month because of that last paycheck being at the end, close to the beginning of the month. So the first pay period is on the 12th, which is why I need to do this video, right? Because your girl already got paid. So you will be seeing my future budget with me video along with my cash stuffing. So I went ahead and put my payday there. I'm also going to add my second payday, and that will be on the 26th. Okay, the 26th is my second pay period. So let me know in the comments below, how often do you get paid and what are your upcoming paydays, all right, for the month of June? Or are you a variable income, which means you are an entrepreneur or you work at a company? It varies from assignment on where you go and how you get paid. All right, so this is the spread. So what that means is, with this paycheck here on the 12th, along, like I said, I saved money from the paycheck previous because it was a lucky month. I was able to take care, like I said, the mortgage, of course, the electric, trash, AT&T, Disney, and other TV subscriptions, and Canva with paycheck 12, okay? Combining a little bit from the month previous along with this. For paycheck number the 26th, the second one, I will take care of everything you see at the lower portion, okay? And that is how I'm going to do that. Now, I covered these up because I pre-wrote them, like I said, to save time. The important dates that I have, there is no birthdays, so the only thing I am going to put here, of course, is my 2 pay periods. And as I mentioned, that is 6/12 and 6/26 is my pay period. My daughter is starting vocational Bible school, and that is during the summer. They typically do that. So let me know if you're familiar with that. My kids have been, well, my youngest have been going 2 years now. This year's her third. And this year, my son is actually volunteering at the camp to do the vocational Bible school. And so it is awesome that he is no longer being attending, but actually working as a volunteer for his college, so he can get his hours so he can, graduate to go to college, but he's in high school. And so my daughter will be doing camp, which she's in camp now for her very first time. And my son is actually working the camp. All right, so camp has started, and I put here that last day of school was the 4th, and they had early release, so they're in summer break right now. So I just wanted to make a note of that, and they'll be going to 2 of them. All right, it has nothing to do with budgeting, but it kind of does, because I had to spend money to purchase like the shirts and things like that they needed to attend this along with camp. Okay, so those are expenses. Next thing I want to note is the note to self appointments that I have with the family. Again, this is just for me to know because I am spending money, which is why it's in my budget calendar. Any co-pays that I have to, and my kids do have to get upgraded glasses. So I know that I will be spending. They did go to these appointments. They also went, both of them, my son and daughter, went to their dental cleaning, and I did as well. There was no copay, but there's some fillings that they have to do. So I'll be doing copay based on what the insurance covers. And then their eye exam was free, but because when I mean free, my insurance covered it, but I will be getting new pair of glasses based on what they evaluated their vision and everything. So that is that. And then the last one is the financial goals, what I'm going to be working on. If you guys are new to my channel, my mom did suffer a stroke the end of last year. She's been in and out of the hospital, rehab, and she has recovered. when I mean recovered, she's doing better where that they were able to send her home. But of course, that has changed our lives. Okay. So these are the goals that I'll be working on: quarterly updates, locking in 100-day challenge that I'm working on that I created. I'll be condensing my binders and bringing money to the bank, and organizing my bill calendar and organizing my binders. So you'll see that in upcoming videos. And lastly is work on sinking funds for this month. So I hope you enjoyed me setting up, resetting my calendar, letting you know what's going on, what pay period falls on, and what expenses will get taken care of with what. With that being said, my name is Budget with Elma, and I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.